Welcome to the Filmistines, the podcast where we discuss all things movies. Join us as we dive deep into the latest releases, revisit classic films, and explore the art of cinema. Whether you're a film fanatic or just love a good flick, we've got you covered. From Hollywood blockbusters to indie gems, we'll be breaking down the storytelling, cinematography, and everything in between. So grab some popcorn, sit back, and get ready for some cinematic magic. If you like what you hear, please consider subscribing to our Patreon at patreon.com/filmistines. We offer tiers at the $1, $5, and $20 level, where the $20 tier grants the ability to request films for future episodes. This is the Filmistines, where movies are more than just entertainment, they're an experience. And we're back with another episode of the Filmistines, and I'm joined today by my demon book reading friend, Lucy. You've been reading those demon books lately?
You know me. I read my Bible every night.
All right. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about the fresh off the cart, the bakery cart, Evil Dead Rise.
The what?
Fresh off the bakery cart. Gotta keep you on your toes. Evil Dead Rise. Did you expect to watch the Evil Dead Rise?
No.
I'm just throwing these at you left and right. We've been watching a lot of horror movies.
Too many horror movies.
This one got creepy, didn't it?
This one got creepy.
I've been surprised a lot lately.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess it's just the nature of what we're doing, because we don't watch movies at this clip this intensely normally. And I'm surprised how good this movie was, especially on the point that the original Evil Dead sucks. I know that's a major hot take. I know the second and third one are the favorites, but the first Evil Dead sucks. And so that's the only one I've seen. I guess we've seen the remake, I think, right?
Which one did we watch together?
The remake,
was it the
I think.
remake?
Or
okay. Or was it the first one?
Yeah, I think we watched the first one, and we watched. I don't know. I don't think it's a remake. It's like the 2013 one or whatever. It's unrelated to, I think, the first one.
Okay.
But it's kind of similar to the first one. But it has to do with a different book. There's 3 books.
Yeah, there's 3 books.
The book and the first, second, and then the third one has all 3. And then there's the second. One of those 3 books is in that requel type thing, that one we watched like 2 years ago. And then this book is the 3rd book.
Okay. Got it.
So we've got 3 annoying kids, a mom, an aunt, some funny neighbors, and some evil. What do you think about this movie?
This movie creeped me out.
Creeped you out?
Creeped me out.
That's good.
I didn't scream out loud.
Screamed in your head?
Screamed in my head. Covered my eyes a couple times. And I mean, we haven't seen a scary movie recently that made me cover my eyes. You know, we saw Scream, and that didn't have the jump scares that I like. And this movie wasn't full of jump scares, but there were a couple. There were a couple that got me. The creepy voices, loved them. Great creepy scenes that I haven't seen in other scary movies. I liked it. It got me. You know, again, we have our rude ass demon.
Sort of, yeah.
Yeah, rude ass things. Yeah, not as crazy as, you know, the Pope's exorcist demon. That guy's rude as fuck. Yeah. I love him.
Yeah, I guess I meant from the sort of on the demon. I guess.
Yeah.
We're dealing with like it's just a force of evil. It's kind of doesn't have a lot of religiosity involved in any way whatsoever.
I guess that's true, because when they pray at it, it's not affected by the praying. But I guess we had the Pope, not the Pope, what am I saying? We had the, when he was turning that vinyl thing.
Yeah.
That there were priests.
Were those priests?
Yes, because they were like Father whatever, and Father Gabriel, that wasn't his name, but they were priests.
Oh, okay.
And they were trying to translate this evil thing. So that's what gave me the religion demon thing. Mm-hmm. And it was summoned. Mm-hmm. But I guess you can summon evil forces. So is it a demon? Maybe.
Yeah, maybe the religion formed around the evil because the evil was already present, and then but the evil isn't a product of a religious ideology. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay.
The chicken before the egg before the chicken type thing. You know what I mean? I don't know if the other ones revolve around any kind of religiosity, but I want to talk about the intro. Intro is cool, wasn't it?
The intro is awesome.
What happened? Tell me what happened.
So in the intro, we have, of course, teenagers at a lake. We got a little bit of our cliche. Then, the girl goes inside, starts reading Wuthering Heights, which I thought that was going to be important. I guess it wasn't. Just that the evil spirit
has also read it
and starts reciting it and, gets the girl. She ripped her hair out and
scalped her.
Run to the lake, jumps in the lake, and then she rises as our title of the film is rising.
Title
with
card,
her.
they call that.
The title card?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay.
That was awesome, wasn't it?
That was awesome.
That was awesome.
I saw that, and I don't know if I've ever seen that in a film before. And if I have, it wasn't that cool that I remember it.
That was probably the coolest title card I've ever seen. Because, normally they're just a little something happens, and then it's on the foreground of the camera, or, the bit or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing interesting about it at all. It's just your intro happens, and then it's just Harry Potter and whatever pops up,
Yeah, the coolest one that I was thinking about that even remotely comes semi close to this is Ice Age, where the ice just drops. Ice Age and ice just drops, which that's pretty cool. But
yeah, I don't remember that one.
That's about it.
That's funny. Yeah, that was a dope ass title card.
I know.
I was like this because at the first 5 minutes I was like, she's reading, she's getting mouthed to by her sister's or friend's boyfriend or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's just it's just silliness, and she goes inside and then she gets scalped. I'm like, oh shit. Okay. And then she runs outside, and then her friend or sister, whoever she is, comes out after her, and she grabs the drone, gets cut, and then and then just kills the guy, and then the girl's screaming and she floats above the water. I'm just like, oh man, this went to 0 to 100 in 5 fucking minutes.
So fucking quick.
I don't even know what to say about that, really. That was nuts.
Yeah, if you want to just watch it for that title card, that's fine.
Yeah, that was
awesome.
Badass. Yeah, and then we're introduced to Beth. She's a groupie.
She's a
guitar technician, I think. Right?
Yeah, guitar tech.
And she's having tummy issues. So she goes to her sister for advice. She's pregnant.
That's a good one. She's just pregnant.
She's just pregnant.
Which are the ultimate tummy issues.
Hey, exactly.
Never been pregnant, but I can only imagine.
And that's where we are introduced to
Ellie,
that's her name, and the 3 kids.
Mm-hmm. Bridget, Cassie, and Dan?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Good job.
Thank you.
Look at you.
Yeah, I'm telling you, this movie...
It's going to stick with you.
It's going to stick with me a bit. A couple of days.
And this is when we're introduced to the weak links on some level. I was immediately annoyed by the kids, like I often am.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
And then they go get pizza, to hang out with Beth and their mom and have fun, and an earthquake or something happens. I don't know if it's an actual earthquake or if it's just evil fucking busting out of this bank, and then part of the bank opens up, or part of the floor opens up, and then Danny's like, I'm gonna go check it out, which I would too,
Oh, heck
bank.
no.
I'm definitely going down there.
I'm not going
There's
down
like
there.
a tomb down there or whatever, some kind of casket type thing that's got a crack in it, and he pulls a book out, and this is the wrong movie to pull a book out in. We don't pull books out in Evil Dead because they're all evil. That's the lesson of the story. Lesson of this movie is don't read.
Don't read.
Don't open books that look mildly interesting.
Yep.
That's what you take away from here. Pulls it up with some vinyl records and goes back upstairs and listens to them. And then after that, I was no longer annoyed by the kids.
Okay.
With the exception of the little girl, but little girl was just kind of
A little girl.
an obstacle to keep bringing people back and forth and stuff. Yeah, she's just a little girl. She's fine.
Yeah.
And I guess ultimately she was this piece in the story for Beth to have to, take on to prove that she's worthy of being a mother.
Oh, yeah.
I guess on some level.
A lot of motherhood in this.
Yeah, which I mean makes sense because you've got this evil force of who's takes the body of a mother of 3 and is fucking around with the kids and then tries to get into Beth and rip her belly out and stuff and everything. So it's like, I feel like the mother thing is kind of unavoidable, Read into that how you will, I guess. There's nothing, I don't want to say it's woke. I don't think it's woke at all.
No.
But okay, good. Make sure that's not where we're going with this.
That's not where we're going with this.
Good. I did see someone say that something about this was woke and that the daughter was woke, and I was like,
what?
Environmentalism is woke now. That's what I said to myself because she was like, she had like a poster saying something about save the earth or whatever. It's like, oh,
no way.
Yep. And I was like, this.
No.
I don't know how do you? It's just the other side of it. How do you tell these idiots what woke is?
You don't.
Like, we just need to exterminate the word woke and restart. Just restart. You know what I mean? Let's just rebuild the vocabulary of
Can we just use it
social
as
rights.
A word that means to wake up?
I woke up.
I woke up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. No, yeah, we can keep the word. We're just gonna rip the capital woke out. Yeah.
Yeah. Or the misinterpretation of the meaning.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
So this movie takes no time to inject the evilness in that mama. She's fucking... She goes down to her car to get something? Why does she go into the elevator?
She's getting rid of her ex-husband's clothes.
Okay.
Because he left. We don't know why he left, but he left her and the kids, and she gathers up all his shit, because she's got to pack up. And she's going to go dump it. Get rid of it.
Yeah, so she's on her way back up in the elevator, and she becomes sort of possessed. It's like not a possession proper, but it's just like this amorphous thing that is non-representational, I guess, because it doesn't, it's not a thing inside her. She is just now evil. You know what I mean? I don't feel like there's a demon inside her. It's not something. It's not something you can save her from.
Yeah, demons you can kind of take them out.
Yeah.
She's done.
It's
done
like
for.
taking some water and getting some food coloring and dropping it in there. It's all of a sudden red water. You know what I mean? You can't do anything about it.
You can't do nothing about it.
It's that kind of thing.
I can see that. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So
that's what I'm saying, because like it didn't feel like there's any kind of demonology or anything happening here. It's more primitive almost than that.
Yeah.
It's more out of reach than what humans understand. It's why I feel like there may be maybe you can piece this together throughout the other movies, this weird branch of whatever religion has formed ideologies around the books, the Book of the Deads, because of the nature of them and not, the other way around. I think that's kind of a cool, very nuanced angle that I could see being explored throughout them in pieces, like it was here on the records and stuff. Because if you listen to those, I bet you there's a lot of texture there. And I'd be curious to see if that was in the others. I don't remember that being in the first one at all. I remember the first one being so bad, and maybe I need to rewatch it.
Yeah, I mean, it's so old. When did it come out? The first one?
Oh man,
do you know?
1978.
Wow, 1978.
Well, it was adapted from...
Holy crap.
A short film. Oh, okay. Excuse me. So the proper film came out in 1981.
1981. Still. Long time ago.
Yeah, especially for horror.
Yes.
Horror is one of those franchises or genres that has, I feel like, a hard time aging. And I don't know how people can properly go back and appreciate...
Horror is one of those genres that has a hard time aging?
Well...
What do you mean?
I think horror starts to just look really bad.
Oh, yes. Yes, I agree with that. Especially
horror does not age well.
When we
just
saw...
like video games. Or 3D video games do not age well.
Yeah, especially when we saw The Exorcist recently and Child's Play? Chucky? Whatever.
Well, that's a little bit different, but yeah. That's from the 90s.
That's from the 90s? Wow.
Yeah, he's from 90,
I mean,
91
even
or
then,
something like that.
you know, it's 30 years still.
Yeah.
That's a while.
Although Chucky looks pretty badass. Chucky himself looks pretty badass.
I'll check it. Well, okay, Chucky the doll. The doll itself looks pretty badass.
Yeah, that movie the Chucky's not a very good movie.
Okay.
You know?
All right, then let's just say The Exorcist. Yes.
Yeah, because The Exorcist is a great movie from, lighting, camera, character, but it's just
the possession itself
the
was...
The possession itself has just aged piss poorly. It's so bad now. And like some of the makeup sometimes looks cool on Reagan, but
I never thought it looked cool on Reagan once.
Yeah, it's missing. It looks. I guess it almost kind of looks too stage played now.
Yeah.
And they I guess for horror like that to really land, it needs to kind of have a at home feel. It needs to feel like that could be, that has the same lighting as your bedroom. That needs to feel like it's that screen. It needs to feel like there's no screen. I bet basically. And yeah, The Exorcist kind of. A lot of things, kind of float into that, but horror especially kind of suffers from leaning into that, and you see a lot of that with old horror especially. But where were we going with that?
Horror doesn't age well.
No, just with the original Evil Dead, I guess.
Oh yeah, so, I don't remember too much about the original one besides is that the one that had the cellar door or whatever? And the monster was trying to get out.
Yes, with the pencil. Someone gets stabbed by a pencil.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the first one.
Okay. I think. Yeah. It didn't scare me, so.
Yeah, as far as I can tell, they're not scary. They're comedies. They're comedy horror.
Okay.
And they progressively become more comedy, especially the first three I do, and then the 2013 one or whatever, 12, 13, is a little bit more. Normal campy horror.
Okay.
Think you're I guess you're more generic horror. Cabin, threat, takes itself a little too serious, not funny. You know what I mean? Kind of silly because it's taking, I guess, campy, just campy, but not comedy. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I feel like this one, again, I guess we need to watch these before we say anything authoritatively, but this movie is spooky. It's got some super spooky elements to it. Like, for example, the second Evil Dead has the main character, his name's Ash, played by Bruce Campbell, I think. He's like the Evil Dead guy. His hand becomes possessed, and his hand tries to kill him and causes havoc and stuff. And it's like how.
Okay, that's funny.
That's pretty much as funny as it gets, right? Like you can't. That's what that is. You can't. There's no way around that. But this, man, we have probably the craziest voiceover I've ever heard in any movie ever. Man, it sounds like him from Powerpuff Girls.
Oh my gosh.
Which makes it even fucking spookier.
Yes. I didn't think about that, but yes. It's creepy. It's creepy as fuck.
Yeah. Ellie's transformation it carries this movie.
Yes.
It does carry this movie. And everyone else is pretty good. Like, I even like it when Bridget's turns. They call them Deadites.
Deadites. Okay.
Yeah, they call them Deadites. So that even leans into the non-religious.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just like this other force. I like that a lot. I wish I knew more about that. It's just kind of this thing that maybe even has its own religion where they worship it and try to.
That would make sense. They all merge.
Yeah, that was cool.
That was
the merging was
creepy.
Cool. What was your favorite part?
My favorite part.
Let me guess. It was when she was getting out of the bathtub.
No.
Was it?
That was my least favorite part because that's when I covered my eyes. No. My favorite part was when Bridget took that cheese grater and grated the shit out of her calf.
That was awesome.
That was awesome. I tensed. I was like, oh, I winced.
That was
I felt
super
it.
well done.
Oh, that was awesome. That's probably one of the coolest way to hurt somebody
Yeah.
in a film. It was awesome. I
That was
loved it so
sick.
much.
That was so sick. Yeah, the effects, practical effects, and I'm sure a little bit of CG in this was nuts. I couldn't fucking believe how good everything looked. I don't know if there was any CG in it. It's a pretty cheap movie. You'd be surprised to hear the number between 15 and 19 million.
Okay.
And it's made over 117 million.
Holy shit.
So big success for
That's
Evil Dead.
awesome.
And that's just a mark, man. I know it's not a very ambitious film.
Mm-hmm.
It takes place in an apartment hallway. 90% of it, right? Parking garage. Cheap places to get and to build out and stuff. But these kind of movies just make expensive, shitty movies just more shitty because you have all this money. Like, why can't you just make it work? But man, the transformations. I was complimenting the transformation of the kid in the Pope's Exorcist, a while back.
Mm-hmm.
And simple, effective, red eyes and stuff, right? And he was looking real gaunt and everything looked good. But man, I don't think I've ever seen a transformation into a fucked up looking thing more than this. This was super, super cool. And I don't know if they applied prosthetics to make her look certain ways, like when she would smile and stuff, but oh my god, dude, she looks amazing. In her voiceover, I don't know if that's her and it's manipulated or if it's someone else's voice or whatever, but her voiceover is just the coolest thing I ever heard of in any movie.
Yeah.
Like, I want that in everything in some way.
I don't.
Anything that's spooky, like, because that's. Remember, I was saying that about the Pope's Exorcist, the voiceover of the kid. Just it takes me out of it because it's just no one talks like that, and damn sure no one talks like this either. But when it's just so fitting, you can make it fucking work. Like, people need to figure this out a little bit more because man, this is a bar.
Yes.
This is Ellie's voiceover is just her Deadite persona is nuts, and then going back and forth between her mom voice, her normal voice, and talking to her, trying to manipulate her kids to open the door or whatever and stuff is awesome and super unsettling. I don't think I can be truly unsettled in a movie, but this movie made me feel like 1 degree of something. I was like, oh
shit.
I was like, this is getting my
making you feel something
in a tissy. What do people say? I don't know. Like, my favorite, I mean, obviously you can probably guess my favorite part was when, you can guess it. Was it
Bridget on the counter?
Oh no.
Okay.
Oh no, you're not gonna guess it. There were a couple bits where Ellie was, in the hallway, and we were looking through the peephole.
Oh.
And she was creeping, getting real close, and then like the camera get off, and like it happened enough, and just the editing, I guess, in this movie was at times really fucking amazing, because especially when, what was the little girl's name? Cassie. Yeah, when Cassie was there, and then when Beth was also looking through there, and we were seeing the deaths happen. That was awesome too. When we saw all those deaths happen, of the neighbors happen through the peephole.
Yeah,
that was sick. That's like hard to call cinematography, but because it's stationary, but. That is such a great storytelling device, looking through the peephole and watching her just fucking destroy these people. And then she gets close to the peephole and like is all fucked up looking, and and then it's off her, onto her, off to her, and then on Cassie when she gets over there and stuff. And like there's times where she's so close that, and the camera it's off of her, that you could imagine the camera jumping back to her, and it's like, and she's even closer, but that never happens. It keeps you right on the edge there, and it's really, really slickly done. Awesome back and forth between the door. Yeah, speaking of doors, that happened in The Whale, sort of. Having scenes happen through a door, but this is...
Well, you actually saw stuff through. There's a peephole.
Yeah, it's a little bit different, but it's still very cool. I mean, how many times have you seen that? I've never seen anything happen like that through a peephole.
No, not through a peephole.
That was awesome. That was my favorite bit. My favorite group of scenes that happened, that exchange.
Yeah, that was cool. That's that was multiple parts of that was when I covered my eyes because, creepy faces. And that was when you saw her creepiest of faces. And I couldn't watch it. It just upset my stomach.
Dang.
And then we got this, same sections, but they were zooming in on her eye, like her eyeball, just her eyeball, like her looking back at you.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to cover my fucking eyes because I couldn't watch that. That was too creepy. That was too up close for me. But yeah, that was cool. Seeing them die through the peephole like that.
Yeah, that was sick. And like that little boy got his arms torn off and he got thrown against the wall. That was cool.
Yeah.
The cat survived. I think the cat survived.
I don't think the cat survived.
Because we didn't hear a dying cat.
Yeah, but we didn't hear it again.
Yeah, that's true.
I feel like it was
Did you notice when Ellie was crawling behind Beth in the vent when she first opened it?
Yes. I noticed when it was starting to slide. And
yeah, okay, you did.
My stomach started dropping.
Oh, you didn't say nothing.
No, I was scared.
You couldn't move.
I couldn't move.
Okay. I was wondering if I didn't want to say anything because I wanted you to like see it for yourself and that shock. There's nothing better than seeing that for the first time yourself. So I just let it fly. But I'm glad you saw it.
That part and
that was awesome.
The part where Bridget was wrapped in that blanket.
Oh, that was good.
And that got me.
That was good.
That got me.
So simple, but so effective. It's so good. Why is this?
You know what very silly jump scare got me?
When she opened her eyes?
No. When Beth was going to give Cassie a bath. And she's like, there's nothing in here. And she dug her hand in there trying to get Cassie too. And she's like, ugh. And like, oh no, she was like, oh, it got me. And Cassie's like, no. And I'm like, ah. It got me too.
Happening. That's funny. Yeah, I remember you jumping with that scene. I liked how the neighbors, they got introduced like one at a time, basically. We had the two kids trying to hang out with Bridget.
Mm-hmm.
And then, Cassie's like, your boyfriends are weird. It's just fun. And then we see him through the peephole. And then the neighbor next to them is like, what's going on? The concerned neighbor, basically, I guess. And he's trying to help him and stuff. Maybe has a thing for the mom. Not anymore, but... And then we got the don't breathe lookalike guy across the hall with the cat.
Oh.
He looks like the don't breathe guy, doesn't he? No, not quite.
No, not quite. That's funny though.
And he's got the shotgun, and it's just, and you're like, oh, that's gonna come in handy, and it really doesn't. Like it does for a split second to pause the shoot her leg and arm off later, but it's just funny how ineffective everything is, and how almost like the Deadites, I guess, are just playing around at the end of the day.
Well, I like how usually in your horror movie you have a way out. You have a way to get the demon or the monster or the evil spirit. There's a way, and the main character's trying to get that way. Whatever they have to do, break the spell, recite the prayer, whatever. And I like that when Beth is listening to the priest dude, whatever, saying, I tried this, nothing's working. And I'm like, oh no, nothing is working. And then he's like, best thing you can do is run. And I'm like, excuse me? No, there's gotta be a way. And
that's funny.
There's not. And it's scarier.
That's funny.
Scarier.
That's funny that you say that, because that is the solution to 80s horror movies, is just running. And then even then, they're in your car, you're dead. We need to watch some more of those. Again, they don't age super well. We need that to come back, though. That genre through a modern lens. That's the slasher kind of killing for killing's sake and stuff.
Yeah.
We need this to come back in a really modern way like this. Yeah, because oh my god.
Well, with those films, you're hopeful. You're hopeful that you'll get them at the end, and you don't find out you won't get them until the end. But this time it's like, I don't know if it's halfway, if that's the halfway point or around the halfway point, the beginning of the third act, whatever.
Yep.
That's when you find out that there's nothing you can do. So you're like, well, what the fuck are they going to do? How are they going to do this? So it just became instantly hopeless and scarier for me.
That's awesome.
So.
I'm glad to hear that. That's so good. That's so cool. I'm envious of it. I really am. I don't know how.
Well,
I don't know how to get back to that.
Become a scaredy cat?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've always been one my whole life, so I don't know how to help you there. It's never gotten better.
Yeah, I was surprised by this movie. I don't know how many times I can be surprised by everything now. But I feel like I've been surprised a lot lately.
Yeah. A good year. Good year.
Maybe it's just a good year. Yeah. I was surprised by Renfield in the worst way possible.
That's true.
So maybe I was expecting this to be overrated.
Really?
It's got high scores, super loved. And I'm like, kind of like Dungeons and Dragons, and I was like,
okay,
how is it possibly any good? Especially because the Evil Dead 1 sucks. All right, hot take. I don't give a shit. Evil Dead sucks. In fact, the sequel, the 2013 sequel, that's kind of similar to the original, is better. I will say.
All right.
I'm just not a fan of comedy horror. I think for the most part, I think that's just. I'm just not. I mean, to blow that up, I'm not really a fan of comedy. I don't like laughing. I don't know how many times I gotta say that. I hate laughing. It pisses me off.
Yeah, the only comedy horror movie that sticks out to me that I liked was is it Shaun of the Dead?
You like Shaun of the Dead?
Yeah, I like Shaun of the Dead. I like that.
Yeah, I know I was thinking of Zombieland, but those are almost
similar.
Those are very similar, but they're almost hardly horror.
That's.
I mean, that's just kind of
true.
Part of the nature of zombies. They are just this platform to push people together and away from stuff. They can't stay stationary. So, but I mean, there's no doubt that zombies are horrifying. So it's kind of by default horror, I guess. But yeah, I like Shaun of the Dead. I do too. And Zombieland's okay.
I don't think I've seen Zombieland.
Yeah, I don't know if you'd like it. You like zombies,
but I don't like some of this comedy is just too stupid. I can't get past it sometimes.
No, I feel you. Comedy is definitely probably the most divisive way of expressing something. Comedy.
Yeah.
So that makes sense. Not that you're offended by it, but just that you and me, it's just a little too stupid.
Yeah.
It's like it's almost like, I mean, I don't want to say it like this, but it kind of is. I've heard that a million times. I heard that a million times when I was 10 years old. Where's the wit? Where's the, because I think me and you also are marks for situational comedy. Time and place is important, and that just doesn't happen in movies so easily.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a little bit of a zeitgeist thing there, that meta zeitgeist thing that helps with the time and place thing, but I'm kind of repulsed by the zeitgeist. Not that something is repulsive and disgusting, but just like repelled by, kind of repulsed. But yeah, I mean, I'm with you all the way on comedies. The comedy movies I like, I can't think of any off the top of my head because I don't like laughing, like I said. But I probably don't like them for their comedic, elements.
Yeah, I guess the first one that comes to my head is Nacho Libre.
And is
that a comedy?
That actually might be a good example. That and Napoleon Dynamite, those might be good examples actually. And those are not good movies because they're funny. Those are good movies because those are just the best made movies of all. Nacho Libre especially.
Yes.
It's the best made movie ever. Like it's not even funny. It's just like deeply, it speaks on such a existential level that it's almost like an IV cocktail. Those things that they give you after, like when you're drunk or whatever, and you go in there, or you have a hangover or what, I don't know, like the detox. The banana bags, what they call them?
Yeah, I think so.
That's like what Nacho Libre is. You know what I mean? It's not, there's just nothing specific about it or there's not just one thing about it that elevates it above all other movies. It's presence and its time and place too, and
Yeah.
its history. 2004, I think, right? And Jack Black, of course, and just this like, and the director himself, I can't remember his name, but he only did Nacho Libre and Napoleon Dynamite. He got he got in, he got out. He made these two masterpieces, and he said what he had to say, and it's just so. There's nothing more fucking relieving than watching Nacho Libre.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's just how it is. Sure, it's not a perfect movie. There's only a couple things I'd change about it to make it perfect. Give it a couple of crash zooms and tighten up the what's the big luchador's name?
Ramses. Yeah.
Tighten up their interaction just a little bit.
Yeah.
And it would be a perfect movie. We'll cover Nacho Libre. You got something to say about Nacho Libre?
No, I'm
Okay,
sure
we're gonna
we'll
cover
that.
Nacho Libre.
Yes, for sure.
But yeah, back to Evil Dead Rise.
Back to Evil Dead Rise. The elevator scene when all the blood came out.
It was real.
How do they get that much blood? I know we have a bit of that in The Shining, right? Elevator opens.
Great.
Bunch of blood
Great
comes out.
call. I mean, that's obviously an homage, right?
Right, definitely.
Yeah.
It's gotta be.
Good pull. I think it was about 12,000 gallons of fake blood.
Oh my gosh.
I think it now has the record for using the most blood.
Really?
Yeah.
I like that. That's awesome. I can't imagine cleaning that up.
That's what they said. In an interview I watched, they actually made this movie, which is highly uncommon. They made this movie chronologically from scene to scene because of the cleanup. And how impossible it would have been because of just how much texture there is because, like the apartment and stuff and everything around and the car part and then just the things that were introduced like blood and breaking shit and stuff. It wouldn't have been very smart to go back and forth between like let's do all the parking garage scenes now, let's do all the hallway scenes now, let's do all the bedroom scenes now and stuff and everything, because so many things get fucked up, like the bathroom and everything they do, everything everywhere when Ellie turns into a deadite. And so
that's cool.
They progressively fucked up everything as they filmed, and so that was able to keep everything in check real easy and stuff, which it's super neat, isn't it? It's kind of funny when you think about it that movies aren't made chronologically almost ever, because if you get into the scheduling of it, it's kind of absurd. Of course, we're gonna have 5 gas station scenes, but we're only gonna rent the location for the day, so of course we're gonna try to get all 5 scenes done in the day, even though the scenes happen at the front, the middle, and the back of the movie.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
What film was it? I think it was Scream 6. I saw a behind the scenes thing where Jenna Ortega did. No, not Scream 6. The one before that.
5. Yeah.
5.
Yep.
When she was talking on the phone in the beginning scenes.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
And they were playing that little game of guessing the horror movies.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
And they had to finish that part of that beginning piece at the end. And like, I think she was like 17 when it first started, and then she had like turned 18 already, so she was like a whole year older basically.
That's
so
funny.
I'm like, like that's crazy. Like that's something I didn't know happened until very recently. That
why'd they do a pickup?
Filmed.
They call them pickups.
Yeah, I wasn't sure. I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
I guess they didn't like something.
And I know COVID probably messed with that a lot with a lot of films. But I didn't know that was a big thing in movies, that they don't film chronological. Yeah. In chronological order. So I guess it is surprising that this one was, but it makes sense. But I love the blood. I loved all the blood. I loved that at the end, Beth and Cassie were covered in blood, so they looked all red, and all you could see was their eyes, and they looked demonic and evil too. Like, the devil, he's red himself, whatever, in some adaptations, whatever. So I thought that was cool.
Yeah, them being covered in blood was so cool. Oh my god, dude. I saw the girl who plays Beth said that her feet were stained for like days after.
Oh my gosh.
So,
that's crazy.
What did you think of the merging of the two kids and the mom.
That was creepy
Yeah.
as fuck. But it wasn't the creepiest. You know, that kind of human merging like that didn't scare me as much. I thought it was cool, but it didn't creep me out as much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I liked it a lot because it was, I mean, it's like, again, you know, I mean, this probably just rings true for most adults, I would imagine, is familiar, like things that feel recognizable and familiar, right? But are spun in a creepy way or more creepy than like monsters, which kind of in general, right?
I
You
think
know what
I
I mean?
am.
Like if you take a creepy humanoid thing, it's always going to be creepier than a non-creepy humanoid thing.
I don't know.
No?
For me, I don't know.
Never. It's hard to say.
It's hard to say.
Okay.
I'm creeped out by
Well,
a lot.
Not important, but what I did like about that is the merging. Is when it merged, we didn't see it merge. Like it was just kind of, we saw like different bits and pieces of it kind of happening,
Mm-hmm.
and then it fucking disappears.
Yeah, it
Like
goes
through
up
the
in the
vents.
vent. Yeah.
Which is awesome. I think it's when the elevator fills up with blood, right? And they go
Mhm.
down and they're rushed out of there, which is just sick, man. That's so fucking cool. And I feel bad who forever had to clean that up. Because, oh my God, dude. I can't even imagine how much. Oh my God.
No. Yeah, me either.
Hopefully they had a drain ready to go. Like, and most of it went down the drain. You know what I mean? They
Yeah.
had that set up ready for the cleanup. So, but. And then when they get down in the parking garage and they're getting in the car, you know, in the car, it starts, which is kind of funny because you almost expect it. I feel like
Not to start.
yeah,
Yes.
that's kind of a tropey thing, right? It starts, but then the clicker won't work properly, and so the thing gets out. The merged evil deadite thing, you know, was out, and so Beth and Cassie notice it and they get freaked out and they get out of the car, and then you see the things, like you see the top of it, you see its hand, you see it walking. You never see it when it's going around the car and stuff until the final fight happens, which of course it's got to happen because it happens in every slasher-esque, you know, movie kind of like this, which is fine. That's just, you know, it's it's a necessary ingredient for the genre, but I just love the build up for it a lot. And it's just kind of funny because it's like the Jaws thing where it's the cheap route, but it's so fucking effective. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like one of those things, how do you negotiate that in your head if it's what their intent is there? And I think it's probably 9 times out of 10, it's probably better to give, you know, the filmmakers the benefit of the doubt, especially when they have something so high quality, you know, to back it. But it's just a funny kind of negotiation that has to happen in my head.
I think by the end, I was getting anxious because I had no idea how they were going to get away. The clicker wasn't working. The elevator's filling with blood. The thing is still there. So part of me was just like ready for them to just survive and get away with this.
And then Beth rolls through the gate.
And then
Cassie gets pulled
I
back,
know.
which is awesome.
Oh my God.
And
Like,
she's,
how are they going to do it now?
I would have left her ass.
Me too.
I would have left her ass. I'm sorry.
I was already
but
out. Sorry, Cassie. You don't want to grow up without a mom anyway. You'll just have trauma as an adult. Like, you'll be fine.
Yeah. I guess that's when you are faced with a situation like that, you tell the other person, you tell each other, whatever, to keep, when you get on the other side of that, keep rolling forward. Roll way past the gate so nothing can grab you to pull you back underneath. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's the lesson.
Or roll
there.
like sideways.
Yeah.
You
but
know?
keep going.
Yeah.
Get away from the gate. And she wasn't
rolled
quick
like
enough.
she like tried to, you know, zoom in there like Superman style. Like,
Yeah.
Like no. Just roll sideways. Woo.
At the end there, they tie it back to the intro, which I thought was cool. I didn't expect that. Of course, that had to happen. I just had forgotten because the movie's pretty intense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like that too. I thought it was, which I was thinking that through the film. I was like, where does this come in? How do these, you know, evil, what do you call them? Evilites? What is it called? Deadites.
A lot of times in horror movies, that intro part is completely separate.
Yeah.
It's just not important.
Or it's very, very mild.
Yeah, it just introduces you to the baddie.
Yes.
And then, but the people involved are just inconsequential. Not that she was very consequential, but she did live in the apartment.
Yes.
Which is cool. I like that a lot. It makes me wonder if this is a prequel to the third Evil Dead. I think it's called Army of the Dead, the third Evil Dead movie, where the 3 books are together.
Yeah, maybe.
Because how did the book? I'm kind of curious about the lore, just because it feels so not religious oriented. It makes me really curious where things start and how do they end up where they're at. Like, how did the book get to that bank, and can that book materialize where the evil goes? Because that girl's going to the lake. Could the book materialize there? And is that the cabin that's in the third movie? I don't know if there is a cabin, but if there is a cabin in Army of Darkness, what did I say? Army of the Dead?
Army of the Dead.
I think it's called Army of Darkness. Is there a cabin there? And is that the cabin? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, how does this book get moved around and stuff? Because it seems like, based off the movies, the 3 that I've seen, based off of that, it seems like wherever the book is at is where the evils happen. And so how does the book get to point A to point B? You know what I mean? And how does it have the time?
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
That'd be an interesting thing to see, because I've only seen the first film, and I don't really remember the 2013 one.
Yeah, we watched the end of it.
Okay.
That's all you saw, I think.
Is that where the blood rain?
The blood rain, yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, I remember that very vaguely.
So, yeah, maybe you didn't see it, like, proper.
Yeah.
You saw the last 15 minutes.
Yeah. So that'd be interesting to see.
Yeah.
There's something there. I did like the book. It reminded me
The book was cool.
Of the Book of Monsters from Harry Potter.
Of course.
That was awesome. And, in the Harry Potter films, it's like, how do we open the book? And Hagrid's like, you stroke it, of course.
Yeah.
And in this film, it's like, how do we open the book? You give it blood, of course.
And then, remember, did you hear that the book is bound and the covers are made out of human flesh?
No, I didn't hear that part.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm glad I didn't hear that part.
That's, yeah. And then the pages are inked with blood. That's how they're painted.
I thought that was blood.
Yeah, it was.
But I didn't hear about the human flesh.
Yeah.
Jesus.
It was too intense.
Too intense.
It's good stuff. Well, thank you for watching this movie with me.
Thank you for staying afterwards a bit and not
keeping
letting
the
me
deadites
die.
out.
Yeah. Thank you.
I like that you can't kill the deadites.
Oh, I don't like
except
that.
by completely mulching them up, which is awesome. If you're gonna go this hard, you gotta end hard. And
That's true.
they end hard as fuck. And I think these movies they're kind of famous for that, ending on those kind of notes.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I'm not too familiar, but I think that's kind of the thing. I think I have seen the second Evil Dead. Because I had always remembered this movie where a hand becomes possessed, but I never knew what movie it was. It was on TV or something. I guess I saw some of it, and I think I was in 8th grade, and it was just a blip in my life, and I look back on it, and I'm like, what the fuck movie was that? And then I was reading about Evil Dead a little bit, and I was like, possessed hand.
Is that it?
And I was like, it's got to be it.
Yeah, how many possessed hand movies are there?
And I was like, especially on TV,
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure there's another possessed hand movie, but it's probably never been on TV, and you have to go to the dark corners of bootleg sites or YouTube to find it, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, I feel like a puzzle piece may have been put in my mind. I feel like, and I remember thinking that movie was like really cool. So maybe I'm an Evil Dead 2 fan too. But maybe it's just Evil Dead 1. Because Evil Dead 1, I'm going to say it again, it's not very good. It's just not. I'll rewatch it and tell you why I think that. But I think I
want to bring up one last thing
what do you
that
got,
I
man?
thought I liked a lot. I don't know if it was too stupid, but I liked it.
No, not too stupid.
Stephanie.
What is up with that? I feel like I'm missing something there. I feel like that's a big callback to some other Evil Dead stuff.
Yeah, it's gotta be,
like,
right?
Yeah, it's gotta be.
but I loved it.
It was cute.
It was
cute.
so cute. I loved it.
And I thought for a split second they killed a Deadite.
Oh, me too.
I didn't know they could come back.
Yeah.
I did like that they Danny wrapped her up.
Yeah, so, you know, they killed her, quote, unquote, and then I'm like, okay, cool. Okay, one less to worry about now, just the mom. Okay, cool. And then we see her missing from the ground, and I was like, fuck, she got back up. Oh, no. Like, they didn't kill her.
That was good, wasn't it?
And then Danny's like, no, I wrapped her.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, you just wrapped her.
Yeah.
You moved her. All
that
right,
was good.
Cool. I'm good. And then she fucking creeps up, and I'm like, no.
Yeah.
No. I love that.
It's good storytelling.
It is.
That's good storytelling.
It's awesome.
It's so subtle and it's so easy. Like, it's just so obvious, right? When you see it, of course. But $15 million. Get you something that genius, that subtle, that beautiful, just completely perfectly done. It's good stuff.
Good stuff.
I mean, I can't wait for another one, if there is one. I mean, I'm happy. I'm definitely going to be very excited for the next Evil Dead. Maybe we have to go backwards.
Yeah, I'd like that. I like rewatching.
Yeah, especially with some fresh eyes and some time in between. It brings new curiosities and questions to it. Especially because you've seen it once, so you're, even if you don't remember it, your mind's going to remember it on some level, and other different things are going to kind of stick out. And
yeah.
Like, I remember, the pencil scene. I remember that being pretty cool. I can't remember what happened, but I remember it being pretty cool in the first one. But, yeah. Well, thank you for watching this with me. And thank you for inciting me with your insightful insights.
You're welcome for my insightful insights.
Did I incite you?
You did incite me. Thank you for... You know what? I didn't think about it being part of the other Evil Dead films. I'd forgotten all about those.
That's funny. You're lucky you don't have any horror friends, because they might string you up.
Yeah.
Evil Dead's one of those franchises that has a deeply dedicated fan base. Evil Dead, man. Yeah. Sam Raimi, kind of in general. People like Sam Raimi a lot. He's the director of the originals.
Okay.
And he also did the Spider-Mans, the Tobey Maguire Spider-Mans, and several other things. And he's got quite the fan base. Yeah. And that's a wrap for today's episode of the Filmsteins. Thanks for tuning in and joining us on our cinematic journey. We hope you enjoyed our discussion and gained some new insights and perspectives on the world of movies. Don't forget to subscribe to our podcast on your favorite platform, especially Patreon at patreon.com/Filmsteins. And follow us on social media for more film-related content. We love hearing from our listeners, so if you have any feedback, suggestions, movie recommendations, or book recommendations, please feel free to reach out to us. Until next time, keep watching and keep loving the magic of movies. This is the Filmsteins signing off.